Yeah, Blogus is the main AWP for eSuba. He's been around here the longest, and I want to actually kind of keep an eye out for Savannah, the youngest guy on this team. See what he's kind of made of. He's the newest pickup as well, coming through with Peachin in a couple of months ago. So should be interesting for those two guys. In terms of the Fiend side, literally anyone. Everyone's pretty exciting. Everyone hits hard, and everyone normally puts on a good performance.
Well, this can be a good performance of their own right here. Ready to jump into the pistol round. Fiend did elect to start on the CT side, as you would expect here, so this could may well make their entire series if they can get this one in a very one-sided affair. Han set towards the squeaky door position, ready for the eSuba side to make their way out into the A play, and they've got the right read onto what the teams want to do. Bubble's going to extend with a teammate, try to get in with a backstab. It's being watched. And then first player's been tapped, first blood been drawn. Han knows that his player's out here, shuts that door very quickly, trying to throw them off. They get a headshot in eventually 5 versus 3 and 2. Taps continue as players start falling. Blogs all that remains in a 1 versus 2 as he has found a couple of trades at the very least. 2 players lining up for his kills, but the bomb dropped at Squeaky. They know where he is.
It all just comes down to the crossfire being set. Han doesn't really need to peek on the contact at all. And Bloggers is just waiting for some sort of contact, some sort of overextension from the two youngsters. And Han and Red Star, they're just not even giving a time of day. They're not peeking at all.
They know they can just sit back here. They know that Blogs has got to exit out of Squeaky to get this bomb picked up. Sit here and wait. Hold on. Good shot onto Han. He does give up that one frag. And now Red Star knows what's going on. Going to hold an angle on the bomb in its position. Reface, go aggressive. Blogs, other side. Red Star gives it up, and that's mistakes for Fiend to cost them the pistol round.
Fantastic stuff coming through, and just being able to isolate those picks. Bloggers being able to get a 4K overall, and just the taps coming forward. The crack angle, Red Star not expecting it at all, thinking that there's a wraparound play out from the hut position rather than Squeak Door itself. Fiend, that round should have been theirs, and instead it got stolen away.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be happy with that one. Man, that's going to hurt Fiend real big. Basically, had the whole round on lock. A 4 versus 1 situation, I believe, against Blogs. Giving up the ghost to allow that pistol to go the way of eSuba. Not the best of starts for Fiend. Did talk about making mistakes and giving up the ghost on several occasions. Ooh, we've had a DC from eSuba. Yeah. I think this round might get called in. I think we might have a pause. Not hearing anything as of right now. We'll get some information in a short few moments' time. I don't even think eSuba have noticed at this stage.
Well, just play the round on and make the stop call come in and then just go from there and see if they can get the details after the round is actually played. For the moment, for Fiend, they've got themselves a 5 versus 4. Info has been very silent from the T's, not really making a contact. And even Bloggers outside just gets caught off by the scout Red Star.
Right to the dome, a 5 versus 3 for Team Fiend. eSuba press the issue with Molotovs out. Han set with the Deagles, going to be watching. Ready for them to receive, coming out of the radio room. Nades in, damage not being sustained by the T-side forces. The flashbang not catching the CT either. Peachin takes face, sees his man, tags him up. Scout comes in as well for a little bit extra support. Keeps the pressure involved here, stopping eSuba from making their way directly into the bomb site. They will make their way downstairs in the end.
Now, Fiend is starting to get players on rotation. They're going to bring a lot of players down to lower. Han gets one with the deagle. Now it just comes down to time stalling. 20 seconds on the clock. This bomb has got to go down.
Smoked across, Victor leaning up with a deagle. Taps on, can't get his player to drop here. And so much damage being sustained by the T-side line. Scout going to tap forward of the squeaky door here at D-Corn. Eventually comes up with that kill after the bomb's been planted, so the defuse will be stuck in. And eSuba will concede the conversion to Fiend. I'm surprised they haven't called in that technical timeout.
We'll see what happens. I'm sure that they're more than happy to try and see if they can get some details on what the case is. For the moment, we know that Fiend were able to get that retake on, and it does get difficult for eSuba, even out to ramp, not really finding much success in terms of the picks back. Outside, Red Star was able to strike, open up that single door, get the kill in, and it seems like we're going ahead with the second.
All right, I'm surprised that's happened, honestly. Like, fair enough, I guess it works. I guess eSuba are okay with it. That means we go 1 apiece here. Rebuy back in with the bomb plant bonus. Of course, Mac 10s, Tech 9s on most individuals at the T side. Fiend got at least one rifle out of that round. The AK staying in for Victor, who plays very aggressive. Here with the flashes coming over. Bloggis gets dealt with by Dreamer. That one pick goes the way of his Tech 9, and all the rest of his teammates come up with TK involved, with Molotov burning away on one man, and well, just left towards Red Star to finish off the job for Alive for Fiend as they clean up eSuba on the force buy.
Yeah, they just go for the quick top site play. Dreamer at the back of the site is just being able to make sure that none of that is going to be a possibility at all. And for eSuba, we know that they've had one record of nuke when it comes to their HLTV officials. 19-17 overtime win over the new Blue Jays side, the North Macedonian team. Now this time around, up against the Rifles, not really finding too much success. Red Star with the scout outside. You've got to imagine that they can't expect much here for eSuba.
Oh, look at these shots from Red Star. What a play. What a sequence. And it might even make it into a quadra. Last man Savannah's so low. This is going to be the ace. Surely it must be. Let him have it. Let him have it. No, what are you doing? Let him have the ace. He just got 3 headshots in 3 bullets. What was that about?
Oh, what a wallbang that was on the player outside to the back of blue. Decent stuff coming through from Red Star. And this is one of the only maps, Jay, that Fiend have in the pool where Red Star actually AWPs over Han. You won't see Han picking up the AWP very often. He plays out from ramp, and it allows Red Star to play outside in garage.
Sets himself up in position and takes his first pop shot. I believe he just legged on one player. Log is playing towards outside, so something tagged him. Smoke's on a suppress over towards the ramp default. Han ready for the T-side players to make their way out, and he'll get some damage in. No casualties here. Smoke's on towards Hell. Will keep Red Star at bay. He's still going for wallbang attempts. No kills again against the eSuba. Finally, Bubba can get one good frag back. It is traded. 4 versus 3, making it 3-on-3. Savannah clears out the double doors, and the one plant will be secured.
Now, Victor swinging through a couple of players down towards the right-hand side of these double doors. All come down to the peak for the information gathering, and they just peek in together. The T-side ripping apart. Red Star's really got to save onto this AWP, and they're even thinking about hunting him.
Giving up the info that he's rotated away. Now they recognize that he's gone upstairs and just creep their way back out of the site, maintain all the AKs, and get their second backup on the board. Fiend overwhelmed with a crossfire, and the triple man crossfire, particularly towards that double doors angle. A lot of money available for Fiend, though, so we should still be seeing guns back out for the next.
And when we compare the scenes of really Bulgaria versus sort of the Czech Republican area, there is a big difference in terms of the amount of top teams and the amount of teams that are actually competing at a decent level. It does seem as if we are having a surgence with the Czech Republican scene. In Enterprise is another one of those that just qualified for Premier this season, a team that eSuba actually had to beat in the lower bracket semi-final to continue their campaign to qualify into this event. So it does seem that the Czech region is starting to be on the up the last sort of 6 months or so.
A major up if they can get this win on the board. Open of Red Star rotating out. Han keeping his eyes set towards the outside. Red Star starts walking. Keeps hunting for the T-side contact. Hearing all sorts of footsteps. They might not be aware of how aggressive he is. Twist, got to check that position. Scope in against Pitchen. Easy kill for Red Star. He's even focusing in for a little bit more. He might catch that second man. That's exactly what he does.
That puts Incendiary down, just falls back, play the 5v3. If they want to try and peek him, they're going to have to take a lot of damage in doing so. Double up setup coming through from Han, and honestly, this is what we really enjoy about the Fiend side, is the double AWPs that can come through, just how many great AWPers they've got on this team. Han looking outside from the locker's position, should get some of the vision, I guess, taken away from him as they lean towards outside. Could be a vent dive too.
Open up the vents here on the CT forces. Bubble just caught vision onto Bloggis. Tagging up with that blind spray. And does get caught up on the next 2 players in a squeaky door. Eventually Twist gets his kill. Dreamer the responsive. 4 versus 2. AWP's focusing up towards heaven. Going to try and bear down upon this player who is in at the squeaky door. And they do get a kill. Savani and Bloggis back to a 2-on-2 scenario, actually. That bomb still working indoors. Red Star trying to isolate the AK. Can't see him back at credit card. Pixel gaps trying to be spotted by the AWP. Locks onto it. Savannah now with the 3K clutch ahead of him. The bomb's on his back and he can go for the B-site plant.
Victor's going to start rotating in quite quickly to try and trail him in from that molly itself. Red Star out from ramp. They're putting a lot of pressure on him.
They back up. AWP gets caught by Savannah. 1 versus 1. Victor Ready for the face, and the headshot's perfectly pre-aimed, and Savannah's gonna clutch it for eSuba.
Okay, here we go. Savannah putting on some great work. And when you think about the advantages that Fiend really have in that round, a 5v3, they at least keep eyes on the walkout. Both AWPs rotate up to that heaven position. That overextension from Dreamer really was not necessary on that top bomb site. And Savannah being able to isolate some really good 1v1s, being able to get the round together. And eSuba, they're putting on a show here.
Tactical timeout coming in from Fiend. Very, very early into this one, and I guess kind of appropriate to a certain extent. It has been a very, very awkward time for them. Had a very nice start, and now back to evens immediately. eSuba. They're capitalizing some of those mistakes here, isolating those 1v1 duels in particular for the last round of that last round. And the forced invest here for Fiend just doesn't look great. Only 2 rifles, the Eagle's in. Economy's not built up. Red Star still set with the AWP, though. It's hoping for an opening frag outside.
He's been very successful so far when it comes to this city side of nuke. Keeping eyes on for a jiggle peek, any sort of wide swing up in that silo position itself. You got to think as well, Victor with that M4 that's playing top of A needs to try and get as much damage in as possible and try and back up the Deagles.
And start watching with the AWP. Smokes on from the T side. Bubble with an A. Deagle spots his man again. Can capitalize on the kill through the smoke this time. All important frag. Sees the second one as well. Touching on 1 point of health. Not quite a second pick, but it's close enough.
There's a gap in those outside smokes. That's got to be cleaned up. Do they have the information of it now? They might do. The Bubble's been able to do so much spam damage. And look at the Deagles on rotation. Out for double doors and from single.
All sorts of crossfire potential held by Fiend. Han going to peek off Bubble's contact. Shots on, tagged up. The Deagle spam his way forward for Han, but only getting tags on the MAC-10 player. 4v4. Finally, Bubble can capitalize. Forced on the reload, however. AWP for Red Star comes back in from the outside. A couple trades in for the T's. Will be 2 versus 2. That bomb's in the open, though, and Red Star has dominion over it. The backstab's inbound from his teammate. Could come in to support it. The smoke goes down as they get the bomb plant.
This kill from Victor is going to be everything out for the double doors itself. The knife is pulled, and now it comes down to the low HP wire. It's 1 HP.
Red Star swings in, sees him. Flank is also coming bound, and full flick comes up with the pick, and Fiend will secure the 4th.
eSuba, they're giving away too much info, and for them on Nuke on the T side, there's variation with the outside smokes. You've got the standard, you've got the diagonal, you've got the elbow, and you have to be making sure that if you're walking, or even if you're faking with these smokes outside, if you have any kind of gap, there's either 2 things that's going to happen. Fiend are going to see how many players drop down lower, or they're going to see no one and not rotate players to lower. They're going to have to start to tighten on the economy, on the utility game, because players like that, they give away too much info, and for Petchin, what can he really do? He's on 1 HP and he's all by himself.
Yeah, no chance. Now down to the pistols once again outside for Red Star. Sees that first. The Bloggis. He'll found the first casualty of this half by eSuba, or at least have a little bit of economy bonus to work from going into the next round. Maybe the MAC-10 with the upgrade, the Eagles could do some damage. Smokes in a Victor, known here to the Tech 9. Apparently not known to the Tech 9. Kills will start pouring in for the CT side. Petchan can't do much. Dealt with by Red Star. All 5 alive for Fiend.
Now, what we sometimes see before games is pep talks, right, with the in-game leader. And you normally say, okay, we're going to keep communication really good today, or whatever it may be. They've now got to have a pep talk now and say, we need to deal with Red Star. Because if they do not deal with Red Star outside, he is just going to mop up frags. He's currently 13-2. Look at how many fights he's gathering with the AWP J without being flashed, without being smoked. It is so dry to him.
Tighten up that utility usage. You mentioned how the smokes outside were a bit misplaced. It might not be the only utility problem that they have here for eSuba. Red Star's going to be completely evaded this time by the T side as they're all indoors, set towards the rooftops, ready for the smokes to come in, ready for the execution, I believe. That might be the best thing that they're going for here.
Just get that flash in high, try and blind as many players as possible. Main smoke being lined up for Savannah. They're going to commit.
Smoke to the mini position, Molotov out towards Dreamer, takes his face, Bubble also goes down. Victor with one good trade, that's as far as it goes though. And you see his inside take has been pretty effective towards outside. Locker's going to work in, does get caught by Red Star for one good trade, but smoked out of heaven means it's a 3v2 retake.
Oh, great re-smoke from the timing of that T-side. As soon as that pick comes in, the lurk out from ramp comes successful, and Red Star's the last one.
Can't connect that shot on the player running back towards ramp, and now with his position being revealed, with his shot rigging out and not connecting a frag, he's left with no breathing room and a save call now for Team Fiend. eSuba making it up to 4, and they're keeping this competitive in the first half.
That's a good sign, because Fiend's T-side is slightly rubbish, honestly. So if they're able to really climb the rounds in this first half, going into the second, they'll give themselves a good capability of trying to keep it close and keep it tight. Red Star with this AWP, is it going to drop at all? Could see a wide swing in from the M4. They opt not to do so. Good inner take, and both players out from close vent and from that mini position just don't find anything, do they?
Oh, they got ripped apart very quickly. We have the guns back out for Fiend. The reinvestment will come through very quickly. For Martel, the bubble will be the limiting factor. AWP of Red Star, 3 M4s, eSuba, AKs across 4 players, and the M4 also in for Blogis. Incendiary set nades out, Blogis jump facing. Red Star's ready to catch that player, trying to utilize a gap in a smokes, but none are out towards the outside set that they have this time.
Well, this could be a vent dive coming through, and Bubble's actually getting the indication that that could be the play. Victor has not been mollied to the top of hut very often.
Flash in for Loco. Victor again facing upon them. He does get one frag, but Savani can trade it back very quickly. A 4 versus 4. Molotov's in against the AWP's position, and Savani gets a kill on Bubble up close. Smoke back from Red Star extinguishes those flames of Blogis, finds Han, now left to 2 players of the CT side, and Fiend are being played like fiddles in these rounds. Easy picks coming in across the board here. Red Star to dive back down. Heard on that face. Twist is still checking upstairs in heaven. One scope shot can't connect it. The bomb can dive down to B.
Red Star's just going to save, go out to T-spawn probably. As soon as they get the information that he's dropped down from heaven, bring that bomb lower, get the round over and done with. Fiend struggling to find consistency on this city side, and for eSuba, they're working hard.
We'll go 5 apiece. Red Star will fall. Blogis dealing with him. Having that rifle now, the T-side line. They are making this real good. Like a really, really good map up. Like you mentioned, the second half is going to be pretty dire for Team Fiend. This is where my point starts to come in, you know, when eSuba can get a decent half in if this first half does not go well for Fiend. You could already be looking at a pretty decent second half and a pretty down-to-the-wire scoreline already.
Oh, we saw it in the first series of the day, so it's definitely the expectation of these underdog teams aren't going to go down without a fight. And AWP not deciding to be saved in from Red Star means that going into the next, they're going to have very light investment with the eco.
Just the Deagles, just the P250 being the basis of the gun setup. eSuba playing slowly as Fiend just get ready to receive. See if they can find anything at all here in this. But unlikely, really. eSuba playing carefully against Fiend. They're just baiting in these mistakes still.
You have to imagine for Fiend, knowing that some of the big events that they're going to coming up, Nuke is going to get played a fair bit. So this is almost practice for them, playing a team like eSuba on Nuke, knowing that, well, moving forward for the next couple of months or so, teams are probably going to pick Nuke against us.
If any team's doing their homework and seeing how eSuba are punishing them, then they'll start to get a decent beat onto what they can do to counteract Fiends. Kill the first player, Victor, and Han can find a couple of trades here, but they don't last much longer. Red Star held out towards Mini. Flashed out, smoked away, no chance on this day. 6 to the board of eSuba, and Fiend have lost the lead.
Red Star can invest back into the AWP, get rifles up for everybody else, and it is one of those maps, again, when Red Star AWPs over Han, that we can sometimes see that the main AWPer of the team of Han gets underperformed on a map like Nuke. It's one of his worst ratings, map ratings, in terms of everyone in the pool. So it's going to be a new challenge for him to try and hold out from that ramp position. Tactical pause coming in again. Yeah, Fiend really just having one player that's striking of Red Star.
Yeah, he's the main man of the hour here for Fiend. 15 kills deep, and we haven't even gone to 12 rounds here. You can see where the issues lie in terms of individual performance, because eSuba, they've got every player right now in a top form position, maintaining a decent spread of kills here. Logis is on 10 frags, sure, but the next player's down from him. We're at 9-7. Fiend just nowhere even close to what Red Star's being able to do. They've got to try form up around him. They've got to give him more support.
Just in terms of the upper takes itself, they're having difficulty defending that top side play, and eSuba probably just start realizing that we can start hammering home in terms of those upper executions. Lurk smoke outside. Fiend not being baited forward for a mistake. Not a massive amount of util for them to work with going into round 12.
So the smoke's in a standard suppress against the T side line. Use whatever tools necessary here, but Fiend, as you mentioned, not a lot really to work with in that department. Smokes towards outside, going to pull them for a bit of a loop because they aren't going outside this time, eSuba. Might still be a gap in that, I suppose. Bubble might have his fixations on trying to deal with the T-side player that might be out there. That could lead to a punishment or just a lesser defended site when the hit comes through.
Re-smoke out towards Squeak Doors, timed very well. 45 seconds on the clock. Red Star now moving out to ramp. There is still one of those lurks outside that the CTs are not aware of as of yet.
Trying to make his way in for the split play. In the midst of smokers where the T-side players are going to set themselves up. Twist will be the first man out. Eyes set on Bubble, looking for the first player out. Twist does get fragged up first, but 2 frags come back, making it 3. Lucko with his 2 frags in this round, and it's a 4 versus 2. Han and Red Star caught off guard, caught out of position, probably to save their weapons again. This will be a 7th round for eSuba.
Yeah, Fiend running out of room and rounds to work with. eSuba just being able to pull the distraction over. Notice how Bubble and Victor have got the crossfire, and Bubble's actually watching for that main wrap, just that walk in from outside. And as soon as the peaks come out from Squeak Door itself and Victor loses the fight, Bubble turns his head and looks over to that left-hand side. And as soon as he does, that allows Luco to start moving in from the outside position, getting away with a couple of kills, even looking up to that top rafters position. Dealing with Dreamer, very nicely done. eSuba up to 7.
Where do we go from this here for Fiend? Not a lot of cash in the bank for a rebuy, of course. Such a decent start as well for Bubble. It's a shame he was traded so quickly and the rest of the team fell. These 2 weapons in for Han and Red Star. Pressed by a half by Deagles on everybody else. Kevlar for Bubble alone. You know, max loss bonus at this stage as well here for Team Fiend. eSuba holding all the control, making this look really easy here.
Yeah, they're having some decent pace, slowing these rounds down. Even a dink comes through for 3 points of health, which really isn't anything at all. Fiend just hoping that the M4 and the AWP of Han and Red Star can try and see if they can just find some damage. Victor just getting spammed up. Jeez, he's almost a dead man.
9 points of HP with not really much that you can do about it. Smokes towards the outside, control will come up. Mostly, I believe, towards the main cross, towards garage angle. Actually, a bit more of a diagonal set, Smokes here. Bubble's going to try and work in with the Eagle, try and find some sort of gap there. Doesn't want to overextend. Doesn't want to give up his life.
Well, that's a good pick. Bubble's going to start moving on the edge of the smoke itself. Red Star could keep taking pop shots, but they've got to start rotating players to lower.
Not sure how much he saw there. The shot was through the smoke. Now the rotation's in downstairs, back in towards vents perhaps. Han's going to keep his eyes on Decon, try to get above the plant position. Util in, sprays good for the first player, continues back into the second man, and Twist runs right into it. So that M4 works well to a 4 versus 2. Fiend now have the control out. AWP try popped open the window here as Han gets downstairs, deals the next player, and all left to Savannah. 1v4, finds that first player, gets that first kill, but no further than that. The AWP for Red Star to respond to it and get Fiend on 6.
That's poor decision making. You've got, what, 25 seconds left on the clock? Why are they trying to get the bomb plan in? You already know that Han is somewhere on the site itself. As soon as they see that smoke going down and that bomb plant tries to come in, they're going to spam you. There was so much time to work with. They needed to take fights before even thinking about the bomb plan.
1 round to the difference. Once again, Fiend trying to maintain control of this half and try to get the advantage at the turn of the half. It might not be good enough, but that's a concern for about 10 minutes from now. Double up set up in from Fiend on Han and Red Star. Again, the diagonal smokes towards outside. Han set in, ready to receive players coming out. Looking into ramp control. So far, so little contact has been established.
Oh, Red Star getting close to the wall bangs. He's done a couple of these to that outside position. eSuba thinking about another one of these inner takes.
Double gets his first, and Red Star steals away his second. Twisting up with a trade back, and Red Star continues bearing down alongside Dreamer. M4 and AUG both on the site. The bomb is also dropped in CT presence, so they can see where it is, and they can control the crossfire against it. Savannah in a 1v4 as Petchin falls down next. Trying to work back into the side. Takes his fight, but Victor wins it out and holds down the round for Fiend.
Yeah, Bubble, this is the first time he doesn't get pulled for a loop. He's making sure he's keeping his eyes on that cross outside. And he's got faith that Dreamer's going to hold his cross. That Dreamer's going to be able to hold himself. The rotations out from Red Star and Heaven coming quickly. And Fiend tied up 7-7. eSuba, still a chance for them to take a lead going into the second half, though.
Imagine that's exactly what they'll do. Pin of Red Star. Han looking down range with the AWP. Squeaky doors are opened up. And the first shoulder's been seen. That Han can capitalize. Great shot onto Luco. Trade back from Twisters available, so it's a 4-on-4.
Just being a little bit slow to being able to pull himself down to that lower bomb side. They will be met with Bubble in observation. The CTs, though, they're trying to bait them into taking back this lobby control. The Org swings out. Dreamer struggles, but finds the fight.
Petchin down. The advantage swings the way of Fiend with 1:10 left to play out here. eSuba. We'll have that player on top of Silo, I believe, is where Blogis is playing from. And starts focusing outside as Dreamer keeps his eyes set on Heaven, thinking there might be a Heaven wrap. They would think wrong about this. Again, eSuba are all held up in ramp.
Honestly, though, they're reading it right, because there is that play that Savannah can move forward. Red Star now going to be able to clear out some of the ramp position and give the indication over to Dreamer. Okay, maybe focus your attention outside because I'm watching Heaven myself. Less than 40 seconds on the clock. eSuba have got to get a move on.
Top of Red Star wrapping, looking on towards Red Box. Bloggers trying to pay attention towards outside. They are going to start making their way up towards Heaven, so the Heaven wrap is going to be read on pretty well. Red Star sees his man, takes his shot, but misses out the opportunity. Backs turn out towards Heaven. The trades can come back for the CT side, though, as it'll be left all towards Bloggers. The bomb dropped in the center of the site itself. Seeing to the AK, trying to bring out the player coming in from Vents. Almost gets that no-scope shot towards him, but doesn't find the flick back towards Victor. So Fiend will win the half, but only by a single round. Trouble times are ahead for the T side after the break. As close as it can possibly get for Fiend at this particular stage. 8-7 involved in this particular matchup as we get back into the pistol for the second half. Fiend are taking all sorts of control. Shots on Savani can hold down the Julies here. Dreamer trying to get his trades together as Fiend will concede the pistol very, very early.
Tie up the scoreline quickly to come through, and it just comes out to really just the players being in the right positions. Bloggers down to that lower bomb site, out from double doors, just being a nuisance, being able to just find as much impact as possible. And with the bomb being out in the open as far as it was, it meant that Victor and Dreamer had to kind of keep giving up these fights and keep looking for the intent just to try and get the bomb back.
8-all to the board. The guns back in, of course, with the force by coming in between the Zeus app. A red star dealt with immediately by Luco. Twist can burn Dreamer alive in a 5 versus 3 situation. And Fiends will just burst fire. Can you continue to come in against their name? They're just going to be suppressed with damage being done. Not a whole lot other than that.
They're going to hope for something. It's not a force up, so even if they don't get away with any kills, it's not the biggest event in the world. P comes through out from main itself. That was a slightly unnecessary pick coming through from Luco.
2 left standing, 1 left standing. Dealt with on Twist with a shot back in. It's dealt with by Savani. 9 to the board of eSuba as they take the lead back from Fiend. So I think you're mentioning in that first half as well, Dwight, the fact that, look, this is a T-side half that probably isn't expected to be all that good here for Fiend. Seeing them having an awkward CT half, does that start to lead towards their demise? You see the pistol, seeing the conversion go against them. They got guns out for this round, sure. Is there still basis for them to work from?
Again, you look at the track record, and while their T-side hasn't been great in the past, it's been against high-end level competition, so that's something you've got to keep in mind. Quite quickly in the outside position, Victor getting very fast out to that garage entrance, just peeking in on the edge of the smoke. What a frag to fight off in the round.
Yeah, Luco caught first and foremost. Twist standing by with the XM bubble, finds his kill onto Savani. A 5 versus 3 block. Giz can swing up here with the SMG, dealt with the next kill for Han. 2 left standing for eSuba. Spetchin and Twist both in very different positions. Twist's XM will get dealt with, and now it all lives all towards the Farmas in a 1 versus 5. Far, far better for Team Fiend, and a far, far better basis now as they get themselves started with a gun round.
Imagine being Luco, the in-game leader of eSuba, and just finding out as these frags drop that Fiend are everywhere. They're outside in garage, they're the top of mini, they're in secret, they're in lobby, and it was just so well placed from that opening engagement from Victor as he gets into that garage control, is that as soon as that first pick comes through, they just start working the rotations. eSuba getting pulled all out of position and just being ran straight into the default.
Bomb plant will not be denied by Pachain. Best for him to hold on to the rifle and the head Kevlar. And keeping the gun in with a little bit more of a basis for a force invest. There's still a little bit of cash available for eSuba. There's probably going to be a force buy in this particular round, given the money state, given the lack of loss bonus especially. Like, Luca's going to be on no money whatsoever. We've got to keep that FAMAS in though. If it drops, that might make it a little bit less than likely. Still a little bit of cash though here, Boy.
Yeah, there's some. eSuba will have to really figure out what they need to do to try to change that up, and I guess rotating slightly slower, not being caught out of position, and just always expecting players to be in off angles, which is a difficult one to think about. It's just that whenever you're clearing angles, don't have your knife out. Don't overlook certain positions, because if you do, Fiend are going to be standing there.
Tactical timeout called in for eSuba, their second of this game.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense, I feel like, given the circumstances here again. They've had a bit of a difficult time ahead of them. Again, Fiend have equalised at the back of what was a great solid pistol conversion and a great solid T-side half from them as well. Guns back in the AKs versus the full sport rifles, and there will be a force invest from eSuba. The single AWP setup, I should say, from Bloggis. Stay in with the rest of the force buy from Mars on 1, 2 M4s, 1 Deagle.
That's really pacey to come out from Fiend. Flash does not blow off the AWP, jeez. He doesn't even really need to flick, does he?
It works. It worked, it's good. Orb still watching here, ready for even more contact. Dreamer has stuck in behind Pachen and gets that kill as well, diving down from the vents. And eSuba thought it was safe, they thought wrong. Easy pickings now, 4v4, the B site's open.
I'm pretty sure Luco was playing at the top of Hut, so I'm not really sure how that happened. It must have just been a timing of an angle not being seen at all. How frustrated must Pension be? Because he's got no idea that's coming in.
Couple kills in the heart of Dreamer, and now there's mop on the rest of the CT side as they all just force their way straight in towards Ramp, and they all get decimated on eSuba's part. Twist alone. Got to save the M4 this time, has no other options.
Yeah, Twists we haven't really seen much of when it comes to this map of Nuke. We know that he came over from the Enterprise side. Getting a pick outside onto Dreamer at least holds on to something. And for Fiend, they're not giving up on this at all. Wall banging through. They've got to be careful about being too hungry in this situation. Money's okay. It's not fantastic, so you don't want to just keep sending players over. There's that one lurk outside from Red Star. You've got to imagine he's going to get this last pick. No, Twist is still alive somehow.
Didn't have all the angle checks, so kind of gave up the ghost on that one. Awkward basis to work from.
Really didn't flick at all.
They just ran straight into the right place at the right time.
Yeah. I like this.
And those 2 kills for High. I mean, you can't quite see it on the replay, but if you see Dreamer, you saw it right there. He flicked over, thought it was safe, and he flipped back, and then he realized, oh wait, he's in lockers. So they didn't quite adjust for the entire position and got killed off for it. So not ideal there for Team Fiend. They have got an eco though, and again, they did remove that rifle from play in the post round.
For Fiend, this should be a pretty easy affair for them. The pistols could do some damage. It just comes down to if they stack together, if they try and catch them off guard. And really for Fiend, just play out a slow default, wait for the frags to come to you, because they will get aggressive.
Molotov's in. And we're going to start waiting around here with the AK in his hands. Nice set as they look up. Molotov's try twisting head. Not quite sprayed good enough for Red Star. Honda's fine for Chin, and eventually Twist will end up falling. Blogus will also drop. And yeah, Savannah held out towards round 1v5 for him. Decent damage done towards Hans. Maybe that could be one exit frag, but you doubt that's really going to come forward for him. Then yeah, a couple of bubbles watching him, Evan. Sees the feet, sees the spray, sees the kill, sees the round.
Yeah, nicely done. Coming through from Fiend. eSuba going to be back onto the rifles. Won't see an AWP for Blogus just yet. Had a decent sequence with him in the last rifle. Easy cleared up coming through. And you know what is a positive for me, and a real positive, is that Red Star is still fragging. Because I kind of got worried. I was thinking to myself, now he's on the T side. He's not going to get the AWP in his hands. He's still finding impact, which is a good sign.
The rest of his teammates are starting to step up as well. We were talking about how he's the only guy that was really going on the CT half. Now Fiend have got bases on every individual here, for now. Whether that will continue that way or whether it will change is yet to be seen. Right now, it's all positive signs for the T side. A rebuy in from eSuba will come forward. The M4s with limited utility sets. AUG for Savannah. And Fiend passive on the default.
Very slow. Very passive coming through from Fiend. And getting those outside smokes. And you'd have to imagine that Victor has got an opportunity of creeping forward and trying to see if he can create some space. In terms of the rest of the team, though, they won't see anything. A slight gap on that garage smoke. It goes the other way. Now it's Fiend with sloppy utility.
Great kill to start for the CT side. Han working against the AUG. I don't think the angle was right for Savannah to see him. He's actually looking ahead of the doorway position. Han start taking his swing out as the utility gets thrown out towards the A side, but the AUG still holds back towards Hell. Dealt with by Han regardless. Great frag in at a 4 versus 4. Rotations coming in thick and fast. They're already out in decon, and Blogus can get that kill. Red Star got to try and find that trade. Will do his damage to force the man off angle. Continue facing around the corner. Red Star looks in the observation window. Blogus gets that kill regardless. Red Star can trade him as the bomb goes down towards Toxic. Bubble will get his kill back in. Red Star can trade to the man advantage for Fiend.
Oh, can't give them up individual duels because they're going to roll you. Red Star and Bubble just working together on that lower bomb side. Han being able to catch off the Hell player, and now Twist has got to try a clutch. He's got no kit to work with.
Does get the head of Red Star at least. Bubble now, AK in. Kit tapped once, looking outside of the observation window. Sees that player, tapped it again. Reface. Try jump onto him, face up, see the player, just stall for time. There's no time anyway. Twist can't get there, Bubble will get the kill. And that'll be another round for Fiend.
That's a well-played clutch coming through for Bubble. Just knows he has to play time. Great crosshair placement coming in from Red Star out to observation window. And for eSuba, just very chaotic, very sloppy in some of those engagements down to that lower bomb site. Rotations, can't fault it. They were there in time. They had numbers at lower. Just in terms of the crossfires, they weren't really peeking on one another, were they?
Yeah, they were really easily fragged out by Fiend as a result. And again, Red Star just doing such massive work. Top fragger in server for him, and just, you know, you can see exactly why. Every shot he takes, every spray he finds is just on point. Pre-aim is fantastic. The kills coming in easy for him, and for Victor as well in this particular round. It's a heart bite from the CT side. The Eagle of Savani can get one pick, but he won't be able to get his hands on the rifle, and eventually he loses his life to Red Star again.
Bloggers just trying to see if he can find any sort of hope into the round. And for eSuba, this has been a really slow start from them in their second half. Now, again, when we do come into Nuke, eSuba, they're an okay Nuke team. They haven't played it a massive amount. They played it once against Fade Gaming in a 14-16 loss in the qualifier itself to qualify to the event. They played it up against, what was it, the Blue Jays side in that overtime loss that was on HLTV. They've also played it a couple of times locally. They don't play Nuke a massive amount. They only picked it because it's one of Fiend's worst maps in the pool. It was a punish pick to come through from the Czech side, and you've got to deliver on this City side. And as of right now, Jay, it has been very slow to start.
There's always going to be the issue for eSuba in this map, Vito, is the fact that they are playing lower tier opposition by comparison to Fiend. Right now, you can see how that works out for them. Bloggis couldn't do much with that Deagle, but he will be on the double op setup with Savannah here. I think the first time it's coming out in, on at least this CT side, maybe in this map up. Double op setup that could shut down Fiend, but if they can overwhelm him, this could absolutely cripple them going into the next round. Bloggis! How did that not connect?
I don't know. It looked on. Apparently not at all. He's going to get out of there. At least have that flash to give him some safety.
I love how even you're confused at that basis. Like, that shot looked dead on to me.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Maybe not then.
Maybe he ducked out of the way. Yeah, he's just got, it's Halo. He's enabled his little, like, force field. Is that the game that has the force field, or is it Titanfall? I can't remember. One of those two games. Like, you know, something that doesn't make sense in Counter-Strike. And not looking all that great for eSuba as a result. That could have been a fantastic man advantage. That could have turned the tide of this round in their favor.
And they've got the chance of faking up, but they've got Victor on a lurk outside. It's getting some good map control. Flash comes in. Oh, that's sloppy for Luco. And now they're just committing upper.
Vic's in. Oh, fine. Victor turns around towards Pachin. Bloggers with one or pick back alongside Savannah. Both orbs in at the hell and heaven positions, but they're going to fall back and save their weapons. They are out of there. They need to hold these guns into the next round. Fiend will make their way up to 14.
Oh, that's definitely Vasta right there. What's going on there? That spin around to the close event position. Great upper take. The way that the flash pops, he deals with that first player, Luco, and as soon as they get that pick, right, we're going upper. We're going to commit with this. And the spin around for him to multi-frag. Bubble's even hunting outside. They're going to try and find some exit kills. They've seen the CT, not quite the connection to the head.
Yeah, they can afford to go for this hunt. They could have done. They didn't commit any more than one player, so Victor and Red Star will keep the weapons in. And the CTs will concede another round back towards Team Fiend, 14-9. Let's have a look at this AWP shot again here. I want to see, why did this miss?
What? I don't know.
Was it a flick?
Mate,
I think he might have just accidentally flicked his crosshair like to the left-hand side. That's really odd.
That was on, mate. That was on. There's no disputing it.
Listen, mate, I still believe it was on. I'm just trying to find a rationalization as to why CSGO didn't register it as a kill. So I'm just trying to throw stuff at a wall and see what sticks. What will stick is a tactical timeout for eSuba, appropriately called here, because this round could decide the map.
And for Fiend coming out of the player break, their results on Nuke, they've won 2 out of the past 9 times they've played it. And it was a 19-17 win over Gamer Legion and a 19-17 win over Lingby Vikings. So it's always down to the wire when they do take it.
This might be their more one-sided efforts here. Luco sees one. Spray's not quite good enough. He dives back down towards the secret position very quickly. Bloggis is going to hear those footsteps. Great effort from the CT side, but not to be. This crosshair placement just wasn't there for them. Han can remain in play and Fiend got up by a man.
Oh, great frag coming through from Dreamer. And individually in this second half, it hasn't even been a comparison at all, is it? Fiend have really shown up, and eSuba just haven't been on par.
Missed off shot, Molotov in against Savannah. Blogger's going to rotate out of there, and they are saving. They are saving up against map points for Fiend. And they're going to go hunting as well. They know that if they remove any weapons at all, then that's going to absolutely cripple eSuba here. And they will find Savani. Blogger's going to have to find his trace back on towards Red Star. Meanwhile, Twister's out of there, and they will lose that second rifle. So just this M4 that stays in play for the eSuba side. So much lost there for the CT forces. They won't be able to reach him in time to go for the final player hunt. But Fiend will get to map point.
Well, the issue I'm seeing here for eSuba is that the whole sort of grand landscape of CS is, yeah, it is a tactical game, and it does have the beauty of the timings and catching them off. If you are not individually sharp up to your opponent, those tactics don't really matter. And in this second half, I'm just seeing so many straight 1v1 fights being completely lost by eSuba. They're sloppy on the sprays, they're not connecting to the head straight away, and Fiend, they're just out-firing them.
That really has been the difference maker right there, you know, out-firepowering them, out-pacing, out-fragging, out-dueling each individual. Dreamer even finds a headshot straight through smoke, I believe, looking down towards that squeaky door position. Regardless of where it comes in, it's going to be the man advantage here for Fiend.
And now this is where eSuba start making mistakes. They start aggressing forward, looking for a pick. Savannah may have an avenue of approach out from ramp. Is anyone watching this for the T side?
I don't think so. Red Star's going to get caught for it. That's a big frag to take. Top fragger of Fiend. It does push the T side out of lobby, though. They can try a different default.
Well, they're going to get a play at a T roof. Oh, Han's there. Oh, Han's there, but no, it actually goes the other way. The M4 gets caught trying to retreat.
Dreamer keeps us at evens here. eSuba trying to hold their own out. Petchin ready to the squeaky door for them to pop out of that position. They're not going to go for it. Bubble's going to wrap all the way around towards Hell, go for the flank in, try to get them out towards ramp. Get them into that B site.
This is where Fiends start coming into their own, where they start using the clock and start working the map control. And for Bubble, if he does go up to this heaven position, he will have a duel being attempted at him straight away.
He snuck past it. That player's watching heaven door, actually. He's completely evaded position. When they went down towards ramp, all players being heard. One man over a double door. Savannah's going to join the rotation. Missed Molly in towards the dark position as Bubble takes his face out. Molotov on Locker's going to burn him out into the open. He's forced forward. Dreamer gets the kill. It's man advantage for Fiend.
And now they're just running out of players. They've got to start connecting between one another. They've gotten the kit and some util to work with.
M4 for Pitchin's got to do so much, though. Smoked off. Starting to clear back out of decon. SMG is Savannah trying to work inland. Time's ticking. Damage being hurt. T's have all the info. Kill towards one for Petty, but his teammate falls. Flashbang through the door. Another one back out of the door as it opens up. 13 seconds to the bomb going up, and Petchin's running out of time. Swings back, does see Dreamer. Getting that second kill up against Bubble in the 1v1. Has no info towards him. He's out of time. The kill comes in for the T-side player as we go 16-9 for Fiend on map 1.